Famitsu's official website published an interview with Dragon Ball FighterZ producer Tomoko Hiroki and Arc System Works director Junya Motomura, and in it we found some interesting details that we picked out from 2 pages worth of questions. In the interview that we're going to talk about here, they talk about a few technical aspects of the game as well as some things that we didn't know about the game yet. So Famitsu, it's clear that this is a very important project to the two of you. How long has this game been in development? Hiroki, in the past, we've worked with Arc System Works to develop Dragon Ball Z Extreme Butoden. As a 3DS title, we had a specific audience in mind when making Extreme Butoden, but it put us in a mood to try a more fleshed out fighting game. When we approached Arc Sys with the idea, they were just as excited with moving forward on it. By the way, was there a specific character you had in the early stages for testing? Motomura, well, when dealing with Dragon Ball, you have to start with Goku, right? But as it turns out, the more we worked on the project, the more we found that we put a lot of time on getting him right. He laughs. There's always a lot of pressure when developing on an existing IP, and you get stuck trying to get things just right between the graphics and the game feel. It's interesting that you guys went with the 2.5D route with this game. Having 3D designed character models in a 2D world really brings to life to the anime we all know and love. I was quite shocked with the result. Motomura, with 3D characters, it is actually fairly difficult to have them look good at this angle. In order to improve visual fidelity, we designed the camera to move during certain special moves and really make the game shine. We tried our best to make the game look as good as possible, while again, being as close to the original work as we can manage. Hiroki, well, we have worked on several 3D Dragon Ball games in the past. Lately, we have steered away from a strictly anime aesthetic. With Dragon Ball being such a well-known anime franchise, we wanted to infuse the anime feel into a brand new experience for our players. If the camera moves too much during gameplay, as with the super moves, the game can come off as really showy, but perhaps distracting as well. How did you decide on the animations for those situations? Motomura, over at Arc Sys, we first start off with drawing it out and workshopping what we want to produce. If the direction is approved, we move on to animation. When creating the initial concept art, we tried to keep the original work in our minds. If you think about it, the scale of Dragon Ball is quite large at times. We believe that fans share this sense of scale and work towards incorporating that feeling in our art. We see that you've made a few characters already. Can we expect any bonuses or special qualities from picking specific teams? Hiroki, this wasn't shown at E3, but when switching from one character to another, you may hear special voice lines that are specific to that pair. There are also voice lines that are specific to your opponent as well. So you've only shown Namek in the Tenkaichi stage, right? That's the World Tournament stage. Hiroki, in terms of stages, we are planning to have over 10. We'll show off more of them as we continue development. I'm definitely looking forward to hear more about that. Lately, when you think about fighting games, esports begins to enter the conversation. Have you thought about the esports appeal as you develop? Hiroki, of course, it's something that we consider. But when you think of how widespread the appeal of Dragon Ball is, we also think of casual fighting game players too. Conversely, fighting games traditionally have a more limited appeal due to the high level of precision on input required. But fighting games are more than just inputs. There's a lot of game knowledge and mind games that have to add to the difficulty as well. It's the latter appeal that we want to open up to a broader audience. With simple controls, the barrier of entry is greatly reduced and players can start with a deeper fighting game experience than they may be used to. This does not mean we're ignoring the core esports-oriented audience. We're aiming for a newer type of game that means to bridge the gap. Through that lens, we've made special inputs easier for new players. However, it is hard to get that feeling of getting better with something like one-button specials. We are actively working on this aspect to get it right. So what have we learned from this interview? We've learned that characters are going to have special voice lines when you switch between characters, and they're also probably going to have special voice lines for their opponents. We've also learned that there's going to be 10 plus stages, so the amazing 2 stages that we've seen already are just the tip of the iceberg. We also learned a little bit about the technical aspect of the game, learning about what they're doing with the camera angles and the animation behind the scenes. That's pretty much all for now, so let's hope we get another interview sooner or later, and check back for V-Jump later this month where we might see a character reveal. This is HG for ShonenGameZ. See you later.